The Brink of War.
Yes.
That's a film you saw, Alan. I was unable to see. This is, I mean, wow, Jeff Daniels
Yep.
plays Ronald Reagan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Jeff Daniels, Ronald Reagan, Jared Harris as Mikhail Gorbachev, and J.K. Simmons as Schultz. George Schultz. I'm sorry, just blew my mind. This is a story that Chris, you and I both lived through, but it was in Reykjavik, Iceland, for 36 hours. Ronald Reagan, for the first time, met face to face with the Russian premier Mikhail Gorbachev. At this point, Reagan had just said, "We're going to develop the Star Wars technology, the shield against missiles," and that little action kind of brought the two to the table, to where both men realized that maybe 70,000 nuclear missiles pointed at each other is not a good idea, and maybe we need to do something about that. And so this is the historical drama based on that meeting. And it's very interesting because the first thing that Reagan realizes is that Gorbachev was serious about nuclear missile reduction. And in fact, he was like, let's drop it 25%. Oh, Reagan says, how about we drop missiles to 25%? And Gorbachev says, I'll do you one better. How about 50%? And then Reagan goes one more step and he goes, how about 0%? And Gorbachev goes, I think we can do that. And this movie is about that negotiation. And if you are living today and know anything about history, especially Ronald Reagan, you know that didn't happen. But some amazing things did happen in that meeting. And this whole movie captures that. I've got to say, I really love this movie. This is Angel Studios. This is a political thriller, and it all takes place on a table, at a table between these two gentlemen. Jeff Daniels, incredible as Ronald Reagan. Jared Harris, even better as Mikhail Gorbachev. J.K. Simmons has a major role in this one as well, and it is a thriller because they were literally writing up the treaty for zero reduction. I would say everything, every single nuclear weapon gone. And you realize what was the one thing that kept that from happening, and full of tension, full of optimism, full of hope. But the thing is, we know the history of this. But what this movie really speaks out and says is how two people from extreme opposite ends politically can get together and have a conversation and try to do something good for the world. Because there's no doubt when you watch this movie that Reagan has his standpoint, Gorbachev has his viewpoint. Both of them are fiercely fighting for their countries, and that even though, spoiler alert, the plan fell apart, you realize, that you sort of miss this time in which people could have a conversation, could vehemently disagree, and as history has shown, not kill each other or the entire world over it, because a lot of great things happened out of this meeting, and to watch it unfold, to me, as a history buff, especially historical movie history, this is such a great movie to watch. And so, high recommendation. Good job, Angel Studios. Jeff Daniels' politics. The fact that he played Reagan with such earnestness and understood the mission, understood what Reagan was there to do, and he that was his performance. So yeah, please go see The Brink of War, especially if you're into Cold War history, because I think a lot of lessons can be learned during the Cold War that we're not learning today.
So does it take place mostly at a table?
Well, in fact, it takes place at the house in Reykjavik. So they actually filmed it there.
They filmed it at the place where the actual talks took place.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I was alive during this era. Mm-hmm. I remember.
I think you were in college, and I was just out of high school when it happened.
Yeah, it was high school era. I remember being afraid Reagan was
Mhm.
going to start a nuclear war,
Yeah.
or is it nuclear? Anyways, yeah,
Nuclear.
either way, I think either one is accepted. But I remember being in fear of that, and there were so many punk rock bands like that had songs about Reagan being a warmonger and whatnot, and so it's surprising to see this. Surprised to see Daniels actually play the
Well,
man,
I mean,
Ronald Reagan.
considering this cast and what you know of their politics, the fact that they made Reagan the hero of this movie is amazing to me.
And do you recommend it?
I recommend it. Absolutely recommend it. You know, I think again, there are lessons to be learned that needs to be applied to today, because the political discourse that's going on within America and around the world is not doing anyone any favors.